So, for 10 months now, my husband and I have been helping with hurricane relief work after Hurricane Helene hit. And it started because we were helping our one friend, and then it grew into this giant ministry. And God has been providing every need for 10 months now. How do you know something is God's will? That's what I want to talk about today, because I feel like there's so many times we come to a crossroads in our lives. Like maybe you're at a point right now where you're trying to decide, is it God's will for me to take this certain job, or to leave this toxic relationship, or to move cities, or whatever it is that you're trying to determine for your life. And you just wish that God could just come down from heaven and sit across from you and say, this is my will for your life. Here's the blueprint. Follow every step. But we know that's not the way it works. Last night, I got a message from someone who is from Maryland, who's been doing a lot of the volunteer work with us down here and rebuilding homes and stuff. And he said, Courtney, I have a Dodge Caravan minivan that I want to donate to someone in need. And I was like, wow, this is incredible. But like most of the people we're helping, they already have vehicles. I don't really know of a need. But I'll keep an ear out. This is incredible. Thank you so much for your generous heart. And it's like 5 minutes later, I get a message from this lady who says, I know some people here in Flat Rock, North Carolina, a family with children, and they lost everything, both of their vehicles and their home, and they're living in a tiny camper. Do you know of any way you can help them? And I started bawling my eyes out. And my husband's like, why are you crying? And I was like, God is sending a minivan to this family who lost everything. Like, this is incredible. He's doing it again. I'm bawling my eyes out. Wow. So this is God's will. This is incredible. So I go back to the lady and I'm like, this guy just donated a minivan. We're going to help you. This is going to be amazing. And she replies to me within minutes and says, actually, the needs have already been met. This family already has the vehicles that they need. And I was like, okay. Because the longer we do this work, the longer I realize I don't know anything. I don't know God's will. God tells us that his ways are not our ways, and his thoughts are not our thoughts. And there are a lot of big picture things as humans that we just don't understand. So how do you know God's will? There is one key verse, I think, that really helps us determine how to know God's will, and that is Romans 12:2. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect. We don't always know God's will, and sometimes it takes 10 years before we can see, oh, that's why you didn't answer that prayer in the way that I wanted you to, or, oh, that was your will all along. That was your plan. I see it now. We don't see it. But we know that we're not going to be outside of God's will as long as we are spending time in his word, meditating on him, praying to him, and discerning what is the will of God by being transformed by the renewal of our minds every day. Sometimes when I'm praying for God's will to be done, I ask for God just to close doors, because sometimes, frankly, I think that's easier than trying to figure out which open door to walk through. So I will just say, okay, God, whatever your will is with our business, with our kids, with this big health decision that we have to make, God, please just close the wrong doors. So by process of elimination, we can determine what your will is for our lives. Whatever you're dealing with today, whatever door that you're about to walk through, or whatever decision, whatever crossroads where you stand, it's really reassuring to keep this verse in mind from Matthew 6:33. But seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. As long as God is your pilot and you are seeking Him, He's going to lead you in His will. He wants you to be in His will, and He's here to give you a future and a hope and bless your life today.